Hello to all our viewers who are following our channel. Today, we will explore a unique and highly effective method for learning English like a child. And joining me today is language expert Miss Lisa.
Hello and hello to all our viewers. I'm delighted to share these interesting experiences and tips for learning English. Why should we learn English like a child? That's a great question. Children acquire language naturally and effectively without relying on books or dry grammar rules. They listen, imitate, and practice continuously. We can completely apply this method to learning English. Specifically, what should we do to learn English like a child? The first and most important thing is not to focus too much on grammar at the beginning. Children do not learn grammar before they speak. They learn by listening and imitating. We should do the same. Prioritize listening to get familiar with sounds, intonation, and how native speakers use the language.
That sounds simple, but how can we listen effectively?
Practice listening daily. You can listen to podcasts, watch movies, TV shows, or listen to English music. Choose content that matches your level and try to understand as much as possible. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. The important thing is that you are getting accustomed to the sounds of English.
What should we do after listening?
Repeat and imitate. Don't be afraid to repeat what you hear. Try to copy the pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm of native speakers. You can record your voice and compare it with native speakers to improve.
That sounds a bit challenging, especially if we don't have many opportunities to interact with native speakers.
That's true, but you can find online resources, use English learning apps with speech recognition features, or join online English clubs to practice.
Can you explain more about using basic responses?
Of course, when starting out, use basic responses. Instead of trying to construct complex sentences, use simple words or phrases to communicate. For example, when someone asks, "How are you?" you can respond with, "I'm good," or "I'm fine." This helps us feel more confident in conversations, right? Exactly. When you feel confident, you won't hesitate to speak English, and you'll learn much faster.
The video also mentions that knowing around 2,000 words allows you to understand about 90% of daily conversations.
This means you don't need to learn too many words to communicate effectively in English.
You mentioned finding a role model. What does this mean and why is it important in learning English?
A role model is someone whose English skills you admire. This could be a native speaker, a teacher, a friend, or anyone you can learn from. Having a role model is important because they serve as inspiration and motivation for your English learning journey. How can we find a role model? There are many ways to find one. You can search online on forums, social media, or English learning websites. You can also join English clubs or classes to meet people who are proficient in English. Once we find a role model, what should we do? Observe and learn from them. Listen to how they pronounce words, use intonation, and communicate. Don't hesitate to ask questions and seek advice. You can also ask them to correct your mistakes and give you feedback on your English skills.
Do you have any advice for those looking for a role model?
My advice is to find someone you feel comfortable with and trust. They should be patient, willing to help, and capable of inspiring you. Don't be afraid to look for different people until you find the right one.
What role does a role model play in our English learning process?
A role model is crucial. They are not just a source of knowledge, but also motivation and encouragement. They help you build confidence in speaking English and make you realize that learning English is not as difficult as it seems.
Thank you for your valuable insights. I believe finding a role model will be very helpful for our audience. The video also mentions talking about your day as a way to learn English. Can you explain this method?
Of course. Talking about your day is a highly effective method for practicing English naturally and fluently. You can describe the activities you did, the people you met, and your emotions.
Why is this method effective?
This method is effective because it helps you practice sentence formation. You use different sentence structures to express your thoughts. Expand your vocabulary. You learn new words related to daily activities. Improve your response time. You train yourself to think and speak in English quickly and naturally. Boost your confidence. The more you speak English, the more comfortable you become in conversations.
How should we practice this method?
You can practice in different ways. Talk to a friend or family member. Find someone who speaks English and share your day with them. Record yourself. Record your voice while talking about your day and listen back to see what you can improve. Write a journal in English. Write about your daily experiences in English. Imagine scenarios. If you're alone, try narrating a normal day, even in your head.
Do you have any advice for beginners using this method?
My advice is to start with simple and short sentences. Don't try to form complex sentences right away. Focus on speaking clearly and understandably. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of learning.
Thank you for these helpful tips. I believe this method will be very useful for our viewers in learning English. Thank you for sharing such valuable insights. Dear viewers, we hope these tips help you learn English more effectively and enjoyably. Wishing you success in mastering English. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more useful English learning videos. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or experiences to share. Goodbye, and see you next time.